Hi, welcome to the Godfather Minute. I'm Alex Robinson.
And I'm Bloody Andy Robinson.
Together we're the Godfather Minute brothers, aren't we?
Yes, we are, Alex.
Aren't we, though? Anyway.
Alex, what happened to your voice?
Sorry, there's my little Beatles tribute coming through there. I was on the wrong show for a second, and were we here to talk about minute 168 of The Godfather?
That's right, all day.
All day? Oh, boy.
We're doing a 24-hour marathon of this particular minute,
well,
which is a terrible minute to choose.
I hope you have more notes than I do. I think I only have about 8 hours worth of notes, so you're going to have to do the other 16.
Well, not just that. We're breaking it down roughly.
Let's break it down.
Let's break it down. We are going to do roughly... What does it come down to?
Roughly, indeed.
No, half an hour per second.
Wow.
Is that about right? That's 30 hours.
What was that, 1,000 hours?
Do you think you could do 30 minutes per second of the minute?
I think I totally could.
The Godfather 30 second. That's it.
My God.
We'll try that for GF2. What's this minute about, Alex?
Well, minute 168.
Mm-hmm. Alex, repeat after me. E minuto. Numero. 168.
Oh boy. 168.
You got it.
Whew.
You got it.
Clean it up. Minute 168. Mikey continues to pressure Carlo Risi to admit his guilt in the death of Sonny Corleone.
Do you admit your guilt, Carlo Risi?
I do. And in fact, his proclaiming his innocence, it only insults Michael's intelligence, and that gets him angry. And you wouldn't like him when he's angry.
Gets who angry?
Mikey.
Okay. Doesn't get Carlo angry?
Probably.
He's getting angry that he's insulting Mikey's intelligence.
Yeah, because he knows it's a bad strategy when he can't stop himself.
Oh.
But eventually Carlo admits that he talked to Barzini. So Mikey hands him a ticket to Las Vegas and tells him to get out of his sight.
I just made the connection between... This is the second...
The connection in your flight to Las Vegas?
Carlo just made the connection. Ooh. Actually, he missed his connection inside the car. No, I just made a connection. We've been joking about talking to Barzini every minute for, I don't know, 2.5 years. Mm-hmm. But this really is in the movie, the second time it's really referenced, I think, right? The first is the original Mo Green minute that started it all, and then this one. I know he didn't say I talked to Barzini, but he said, it was Barzini. So this really is this is the bookend of the whole talking to Barzini thing, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's cool because the first time we hear that line, Mo Green is using it as like a power play.
Yeah.
Like, I talked to Barzini.
Yeah.
And I don't need you. I talked to Barzini. Mm-hmm. And in this one, it's the total opposite because he's confessing to speaking to Barzini, and even it's displaying his weakness.
Yeah.
So,
do you think that's why Mikey immediately puts him on a plane? Because right afterward, he gives him the ticket. It's like, you're out of here.
Yeah.
Because Mo Green was the first to say that.
They literally take the drink out of his hand. Literally a minute after they handed it to him, they take it out of his hand.
I don't even know if he drank it. Did he?
I think he did. I think because I rewatched the last minute, and I think he does take a sip of it.
Wow. I wanted to talk a little bit about that. What do you make of that? Is it Mikey's just so disgusted with Carlo, he doesn't even want him to?
Yeah, they don't even want to waste. They don't even want to waste any of the wine on him.
Oh, so they pour it back into the bottle for the next. There's a whole line of people outside Mikey's office who he's trying to get to confess.
Well, they have a special bottle they use that is just for potential traders. So that's why. Remember when Sonny was like, "Hey, get a drink of brandy or something." He was trying to get a drink from the trader bottle.
It's got all like Luca Brasi backwash. COVID-19.
It sounds like an aftershave or a men's scent.
That's our item of merch. Luca Brasi backwash.
Backwash by Luca Brasi.
Backwash.
Maybe a close up of him all like,
Oh, choking with the.
yeah, like all just like silent and black and white. All like,
I think it's all the ad to is Backwash by Luca Brasi. And then it's not bad.
Brasi. So wait, so what were you saying?
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, what?
Well, okay, Mikey says, it insults my intelligence. It insults my intelligence. It makes me very angry.
Yeah.
So this is still before Carlo confesses.
Yes.
So does Michael say it makes me very angry? Is he trying to communicate to Carlo?
That he makes him angry.
No, that having his intelligence insulted makes him angrier, or that Carlo possibly had a role in Santino's death.
I think it's interesting because he's making it sound like the insult to his intelligence is what is making him angry, as opposed to the fact that he was a traitor. So it almost does push him more into being like, listen, you don't want to make me angry by saying you're innocent, do you? Like, make me less angry by admitting you did it.
Yeah. This is some real like Russian World War II torture techniques. This is crazy stuff.
I was just reading a book about a serial killer. And he said,
"Whoa, you've been studying up a lot on that subject. Is there anything you want to tell me or show me?"
They say before you get into a new career, it's best you learn, you redo some research. But they interviewed one guy, and he said his strategy was always, when he would like kidnap somebody, would always give them hope. Like he wouldn't just say, "I'm going to kill you later." He'd be like, "I don't want to have." He's like, "I don't want to hurt you." Like making it sound like, "Oh, this person is willing to cooperate." So I think it's almost like saying, "Like, don't insult my intelligence." Like we're both, it's a similar tactic where he's making him think that admitting it is a better thing to do.
That's brilliant. That's the dark side of how to win friends and influence people.
Yeah. So speaking of which, though,
it's how to influence people to get in your van when you really intend to kill them. How would that title of the book sell?
How to win friends and influence people right before you have them garroted in your driveway.
How about this? How to get people to get into your van and to admit that they talked to Barzini.
That's the one. So it's interesting because Al Pacino obviously plays this Michael is like, everything is under control. Like he's talking about how angry he is, but his tone is just like, it makes me angry.
Yeah.
Like,
you insult my intelligence.
Imagine you could almost do the same dialogue with Sonny doing it, but he'd be all like, insult my intelligence. You know what I mean? He'd be all like angry. So it's a really interesting contrast.
Do you think one approach would be more effective than the other? It probably depends on who the target is, right?
Yeah, I think that's something where, you might have to customize it depending on who you're.
I don't think Carlo would have admitted to Santino if it had been Santino the one grilling him.
Well, also, I don't think at this point. I'm sure Sonny would have had him like tortured for half an hour even before asking him about it. So he wouldn't even go through the trouble of giving him drinks and setting him up, and that's totally a Mikey strategy move.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Michael plays it well this time.
Yeah, he played this one brilliantly. Yeah.
Why do you think Carlo admits it?
I think because he realized, because he's, he would have to know he's busted.
Yeah, right. There's probably a seed of hope that if he admits what he did, that he won't be killed. That's at least the honorable thing. It's honorable. It's the right thing to do. That maybe he won't be killed. I'm still not sure he knows leaving the office whether he's going to live or die. We'll talk more about that next minute because there is a clue. Yeah. Well, I do think it's interesting that he says he doesn't make any effort to try to explain himself. Yeah. Which to me seems like that would be the natural thing to try to do. Like, listen, I talked to Barzini. He said there was something in it for me. Like I'm sick of running hey, Carlo, go run a candy store with rags. Hey, Carlo, let me beat your head in with a garbage can. Bafangu, you. She leaves a mess everywhere. Yeah,
So-
you're right. Instead of just saying it, he should have, before he said it, set the whole thing up. Before even getting to the admission part that Barzini approached him should be the end. He should have started. Or why don't we do it? You're Carlo. How would you have played it? How would you have admitted it?
Well, go ahead, set me up. Go ahead, set me up.
Just don't insult my intelligence. It makes me angry. Who approached you, Tattaglia or Barzini?
It was Kay. It was Kay all along.
Kay, my wife?
No, I'd probably say something like, "Listen, okay.
Oh, Michael.
Honest truth, Mikey. You're gonna laugh by the end of this. You're gonna laugh at the end of this.
That's a good setup.
Yeah,
Right?
but I feel like also if you do too much of a setup, then he's just gonna lose patience.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
what lie would you have said? Well, or truth? What would you? Let's role play it.
Well, I don't know
Here we go.
exactly
Action.
I don't know exactly what Carlo. You have read the book. Does it say anything like what Carlo was? Like, we
No.
know what Fredo was offered. Was Carlo offered anything particular?
It doesn't. Not that I could tell in the book. No.
Yeah.
No.
And like I don't even know what part of it was set up by.
Yeah, I don't even know. Like he was approached by Barzini. Well, it's odd too that Michael asked him that. Who approached you?
Because
Like he wants to know who. What did you do? What was your role? Or maybe he already knows the role, or believes he knows the role.
or he just thinks that Carlo's too stupid to have approached. Like, first of all, how would Carlo even get in touch with the heads of the families?
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Do you think
go
Carlo
ahead.
dealt with Barzini face to face, or there must have been buffers.
Oh yeah, a whole lot of buffers. Yeah, definitely.
Or did
Barzini
they use Barzini because then that would make Carlo even more like, oh man, I'm talking to Barzini himself. Like, this must be legit.
Yeah. I think they hired a lookalike, an actor, and it was a dark room. So you get the best of both worlds. Carlo thinks he's talking to Barzini, but it can never really get back to Barzini.
Yeah. What would his name be? Like Fozini? What would
It'd
his
be
name
like Zini Barb.
It'd be
Zini Barb.
Barzaza.
Barzaza. I like it. All right, so you're Michael. Ask me. I'm going to just off the cuff try to give a better response.
Okay. Just don't tell me you're innocent. Insults my intelligence, and that makes me very angry. Who approached you?
Well, Mikey, I don't
know who ain't no crime boss I ever heard of.
He's not going to let me talk. Mikey, just hear me out. Okay, I'm going to start from the beginning.
Me hear you out. Me hear you out. You hear me out.
Okay, Mikey, come on.
Okay.
Mikey, don't interfere. You heard Mom at the table. She said, don't interfere.
I don't want to lose my family. You're right.
Mikey, it was Barzini who would this have worked, Alex? It was Barzini's men came to me and said, you can help move the negotiations along. And so I thought I could help the family by doing it. I didn't know it was going to end up the way it did, Mikey. I thought I could bring more business and even double-cross Barzini. What do you think?
You know, now that we're play acting it, I think almost once he admits it, it almost doesn't matter what.
Doesn't matter.
Like, because like as soon as that happens, Mikey just stops listening. Because like, what excuse could he possibly give? Well, you know what? You're right. That was a good reason to have my brother killed. You know what I mean?
The words were leaving his mouth as Mikey was reaching for the drink to take it. It didn't even matter whether he said Barzini or Tattaglia or Cheech or Tessio. It doesn't matter. Like,
That'd be funny if he was waiting with his hand, literally like holding it up, like he was like going to grab it from him. And Tom has his hands on the chair, like getting ready to pull it out from under him.
Yeah. Maybe it was poison. You've got 10 seconds to tell us. Either way, you're going to die.
So, would you have confessed in Carlo's place?
No.
No? You think you would have
no.
you would have kept insulting his intelligence?
I wouldn't have fallen for those games. Mikey, I have no idea. You know, Connie, you know what she's like. She starts fights with me, and I got OCD. I told her to clean it up. I beat her up. Mama told me that it was okay and not to interfere, so no one approached me. I don't know anything about it, Mikey. Mikey, come on.
All right. You convinced me.
Okay,
Well, I guess we also don't know if Mikey. So my next note was about Mikey's reaction to the confession.
Okay.
And so it brought up the question of going into this, does Mikey, on a scale of 1 to 100, how sure is Mikey that he's guilty? Does he have any room for doubt? Is he, because when he says, when he says, it was Barzini, like Mikey waits pauses for a second and then says, good. Like, was that like the moment where he was like, and I really thought he might have been innocent? Like
in the book, the other characters, like Hagen and Rocco, they're so sure that he had done it. There was some doubt in Mikey's mind, which is why he wanted to ask him. Mm-hmm. So I think he's holding out. I think he was hopeful that maybe he wouldn't have to kill Carlo, but when Carlo admitted it, I think that 3-second blank stare, he was processing like, wow, I'm really going to have him
coming to
killed
terms
now.
with the fact
that he's going to make his sister a widow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And after, when she becomes a widow, you know what she's going to need?
What?
She's going to need money.
I thought she's going to need tickets to the Queen.
Oh yeah, passage on the Queen.
That's right.
Well, I got a few more notes, Alex.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So,
what you got?
Mike, so right after that, they stand up. Mike says, I'll call your wife. Tell her what flight you're on.
You'll call my wife.
He says, I'll call your wife. Tell her what flight you're on. Why does he say your wife and not Connie? Is he starting to distance himself?
I don't know. Maybe that's by putting Carlo more at ease because he's referring to this woman as Carlo's property as opposed to calling her by her name, which would be like the family property.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe saying your wife is like, emphasizing the family connection. Oh, I would never hurt you. You marry. Your wife is my sister.
Yeah.
You're right. That's right.
I'll call your wife, Connie, my sister who you married and who's now your wife, who will soon be widowed.
Don't you remember on the wedding day, the funeral guy was here, the whole, you don't remember?
That would not be justice.
Do you think, did Mikey did he pick up Don Corleone's Sanka drinking habits?
Oh, yeah, I think so. They probably offer. Well, I think after these scenes of the assassinations, when it's clear that the Corleone family is back on top, I think Sanka says, okay, we're going to offer him the same contract.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you think Mikey did it?
He's a businessman, right?
A lot of money in that brown powder.
That orange labeled brown powder.
A lot of money in that soothing, sweet tasting Sanka.
You know how Johnny Ola brings Michael Corleone oranges from Florida?
Yeah.
When Michael goes down there in GF2, he brings Sanka.
It's famous for it.
Sanka. Thank you, Michael. You're a thoughtful young man.
So you think
it goes great with the cake.
Was that? Oh, who's it? Stracci who used to give kids candy?
Cuneo
gave kids. So I wonder if other people describe Don Corleone as always giving people.
He's just got it loose grounds in his.
Well, I'm drinking more than I used to.
You're like a 7-year-old. Hold your hand out like a cup. Hold on. No, hold it. I'm gonna pour something. He pulls it out of his mouth. No, hold it like a cup. You're spilling it.
pouring boiling water.
No, not the drink, the grounds.
Oh, just the grounds.
Okay. Yeah, now go home and put that in a cup and then pour some hot water in there. But don't spill it.
All right, what else?
Did we already joke about in Don Corleone's death scene that sprayer is filled with Sanka?
I'm sure we did.
I don't know if we did. I know we joked that it was fungicide.
Oh, you know what? Maybe it was caffeine. Maybe it wasn't Sanka, and that's why he died from it. Because it got his heart racing too much. All that caffeine.
No. That was no heart attack.
He died of caffeine poisoning. Yeah. That's why Frankie was drinking out of the hose. He's like, I gotta make sure there's no caffeine in this.
Oh, it's great. Oh, that's why he falls asleep too, right? Oh no, he's drinking regular coffee.
Yeah.
So he shouldn't fall asleep.
Yeah.
All right, I got a couple things. So right when Carlo is leaving, so Carlo stands up And Rocco, did you notice Rocco helps put on his coat?
Yeah, that was nice.
It was nice. Would he have done that if it weren't if he weren't about to die? Is that the role of Rocco or Al, is to put on the coat of someone of Carlo's standing in the family? And before you answer, part of me was thinking like this is kind of like a final courtesy. Mm-hmm. It's just like, hey, he admitted it. Like, we all know the next step might not be so good for you. It's kind of like, here, I'm going to help you put your jacket on.
I'm going to assume that they want to keep Carlo as much in the dark as possible. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to assume that under normal situations, Al or Rocco or a Cheech, anyone who's like under not in the family, would kind of make an effort to do courtesies for people. Like it would be the polite thing to do. Hold the door open for Corleones, that kind of stuff.
Okay. Al, would you help him put on his jacket? No, they already got him a drink, right? Al, would you get him a drink?
Oh, speaking of
Al,
which,
would you take his drink away? It's Connie's calling all the shots.
Speaking of which, we asked and someone else answered. I'm afraid I don't have the person's name handy, but someone emailed us and said they're knowledgeable about police procedures, and the formal dress wear of the police officer is indeed still called a blouse.
Wow.
So the blue thing they wear on the top is referred to as a blouse. So
okay.
There you go. We asked. He answered.
Well, thanks so much, listener, for sharing that with us. You learn something new every day.
I apologize for, you know what? For the sake of your protection, I won't say your name. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Edit out the part about me not remembering.
And so what this listener is saying is that all policemen wear blouses.
No. All blouses are policemen, but not all policemen are blouses.
Okay.
What else you got?
Let's see.
Yeah, so I do think that's a common courtesy.
Okay. I've got a very quick item from the book. Here we go. Minute 168. Puzo writes, who approached you, Tartaglia or Barzini? Carlo Rizzi, in his anguished hope for life, in the sweet flooding relief that he was not going to be killed, murmured, Barzini.
It was Barzini all along.
Good, Michael said softly. He beckoned with his right hand. I want you to leave now. There's a car waiting to take you to the airport. So I wanted to point this out because in the book, Puzo makes it sound like Carlo is convinced he's not going to be killed. I'm guessing because in the paragraph before, Michael says, do you think I'd make my sister a widow? Do you think I'd make my nephews fatherless? Mm-hmm. And so in the book, he believes that.
Yeah.
But in the movie, it's not as clear because he still pauses after all of that. When Michael says, what do you think I'd make my sister a widow? Carlo still doesn't admit it.
Well, he does. He admits it.
He does after. Then he has to say a few more things about his intelligence and being insulted.
Yeah. So I guess in the book, it sounds like more that Michael is appealing to thinking. Michael is having Carlo appeal to Michael's sense of mercy. Like, I wouldn't leave. I wouldn't hurt. I wouldn't leave, your kids with no father. I wouldn't make your wife a widow. Whereas in the movie, it's more out of fear of making Michael angry.
Yeah.
That is the motivating factor.
Yeah.
It's a slight difference.
Yeah, it's interesting. Well, that's all I have. I do have some cleanup items unrelated to this minute.
Okay.
Or do you have anything else for this minute?
I do have one more thing. Well, specifically about this whole scene. He says, I talked to Barzini, and then Mikey immediately puts him on a plane, which, as we talked about last week, is kind of a little sloppy story-wise, because it does make it... They were already on their way to Vegas, so it seems weird that he's like, okay, I'm putting you on a plane to Vegas. Like, as if there's, like, the other trip to Vegas was not even,
Yeah, it's a little weak.
But do you think they should have asked him more questions? Like, isn't it possible he would have known other things, or what Barzini? It seems like Mikey, being such a detail-minded, like, cold strategist, would want to milk him for as much information as they could.
Yeah, it's a really good point.
But, certainly less dramatic to have him be questioned for a while and then choked. But
yeah. In the book, that's it. It ends and he leaves. But you're right. You'd think he'd want to know, although Barzini's dead now. And
Right, but there might be other people in the family who he was working with. Does Rags know? Did Rags know what was going on?
Yeah, that's a good question.
You make sure if you find out that Carlo is the traitor, make sure you ask him everything he knows about his being a traitor. Ask him where he puts the money, whether it's behind the drapes or not.
Or is that a sign that Mikey already knew all along, and that Carlo really doesn't have any new information for him? He's just seeing what Carlo would say.
Yeah.
So,
well, and again in the book, in one of the previous minutes when Michael first starts talking to Carlo, you remember his gambit, his opening gambit, is to use Barzini's name. That little farce you played out with my sister, did Barzini kid you that would fool the Corleone? So that does imply that Michael does know more than he's at least he's sharing.
And that's in the book.
That's in the book.
Not in the movie.
Yeah, but then, that's right. But then in this minute, in the book, Michael does ask him, was it Barzini or Tattaglia?
Yeah. All right. Well,
Yeah.
I guess that wraps up minute 168. I guess we got to rate this
Let's
thing.
rate it, and then I have a couple quick cleanup items.
Okay. So wait.
Unrelated to the minute.
But it is appropriate that we have a cleanup item in Carlo's penultimate minute.
That's right. That's right.
Let's rate it. I'm ready.
I'm ready too. Yeah. Took me a while.
I thought you were like going down a list of like criteria. And,
Well, I'm comparing it to other minutes, and I'm thinking about how dramatic it is. All right, I'm ready. You ready?
Ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3,
4.
4.
I'm going
Andy.
4.
All right.
Yeah. I'm sticking with it.
All right. So I understand we have some. I understand now you are about to clean it up.
Yeah. So
While you're doing that, I'm gonna run for cover.
yeah. So you know how you can watch different movies and shows with commentary from
I do.
actors and directors and producers. I think we or Robert Duvall should do one in the character of Tom Hagen for Godfather 1. So he's talking about the whole movie, like in this scene, I wasn't sure if I thought it was Tattaglia, and I said that, but the Dawn told me it was Barzini, and I didn't know why. I was a little self-conscious, like all that.
It's literally just explaining what's going on in the movie. Although in this scene, if Kate gave me the letter, that would be me admitting I knew where Mikey was, so I didn't want to take that letter.
Yeah, he just said everything in the movie. I'd had my drink, so now it was the time for me to tell the Dawn what everyone else already seemed to know.
That car in the background, just an accident. Nothing to be concerned about.
By the way, if McCluskey interferes here, he's gonna have to show before a judge in the morning, show cause. Anyway, that's not why I brought. That would be funny now that we're playing it out. But the whole reason I brought that up is because that audio track would be called a Tob Hagen-Terry.
A Hagen-Terry.
A Hagen-Terry.
I like it.
You like it?
I do like
A
it.
Hagen-Terry.
Hagen-Terry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a Hagen commentary.
I like it.
All right, next clean them up.
Okay. I was going to say Tomumentary, but that's more like that's more like a documentary, not a commentary.
Yeah. Oh, I have it for all of our merch items. Why rent it when you can Corleone it?
That's a great line.
All right, the second clean it up item.
What else you got?
Clean it up. This was from one of our listeners who placed a YouTube comment. Or am I allowed to say the name, Alex? Any legal reasons not to?
I think you could say their username. Like
Okay,
the screen name.
it looks like it might be their real name. It's a normal name. It's not like
I'd just say
Skin Cat 85.
we'll just
I'll just use the first name.
Just
All
maybe
right.
use the first name.
All right, a YouTube comment left by. I'll use the initials. Is that safer, or can that still be
Give
tied?
us a first name.
Yeah.
And then we'll make up like a mafia sounding last name.
Perfect. Okay. This YouTube comment was left by James.
James. James. The
Oh, that's a fun game.
yeah.
Like James, so it's a YouTube comment. Do we want to connect it to YouTube?
James.
Yeah, James.
Well, maybe we should change to Jimmy.
Okay,
Jimmy is definitely more.
Jimmy
Jimmy comments.
Jimmy comments or Jimmy YouTube?
Jimmy YouTubes. There you go.
Jimmy YouTube.
We call him Jimmy YouTube because he comments all YouTube videos. Once. All right. What you got for us, Jimmy YouTube?
So Jimmy YouTube wrote, has anyone suggested, quote, National Rocco Lampone's vacation yet?
Oh, my God. That's awesome.
National Rocco Lampone's vacation. Rocco.
Wait. What is it? National?
It's National Rocco Lampone's vacation. Because it's Rocco Lampone.
Yeah.
It's like probably Lampone.
What about Rocco Lampone's Rocco Vacation?
Rocco's National Lampone's Vacation?
No. National Lampone's Rocco Vacation.
Oh. Rocco's Vacation. The end of GF2.
Chevy Chase's National Lampone's Rocco's Vacation.
No, Mario Puzo's.
That's right.
Because he wrote the screenplay. Wasn't Rocco going on vacation at the end of GF2? Remember, he was in the airport. He's wearing the Hawaiian shirt.
That's true.
He just happened to cross paths with Hyman Roth.
If you look, you can see Rocco's wife and 2 teenage children, and they're like, "Oh my God!"
Oh, yeah.
They thought they were going to Wally World, but
I thought you were going to say he has Carlo's fake plane ticket from GF1 in his hand. That's the same plane ticket they always use when they need just a fake plane ticket to get people past security to convince someone they're going to fly. All right, so Jimmy YouTube continues. Rocco could play Clark, Ellen, Cousin Eddie, maybe even a few of the Audreys. So Rocco would play all the characters.
Well, it's like being John Malkovich, but all Roccos.
Yeah. Pretty funny. So thank you, Jimmy YouTube. We appreciate the comment.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, you can go and see all our episodes. They're all archived on YouTube, and you can see them everywhere else. Spotify, iTunes. Leave us a review. Leave us a comment. Even better, leave us an idea.
We love other people's ideas. It makes the show so much easier.
Yeah.
I was just wondering if it was worth the idea of drawing a National Rocco Lampone's vacation, like the Chevy Chase thing, but having it be Rocco, maybe holding a gun, and But I don't even know. I don't even think I would recognize the actor who plays Rocco in a lineup.
That's good. That's why he's moving up in the regime.
I know, but it's, in terms of merch sales, you're like, who is that guy?
Yeah. Maybe this is our merch item. Maybe this is our merch item. It's a new streaming show.
Yeah,
Rocco Lampone.
Series of Christmas. Christmas Vacation get ruined because the Don got shot, so he had to go back to work. Then of course the last one, of course, Vegas Vacation.
Yeah,
that's the family moves out to Vegas.
Right,
Perfect.
That's right. Rocco. They go out to see Mo Green.
All right, anything else?
That's all I got.
All right, well, I guess we can wrap up put 168 to bed.
We got 9 minutes left in this sucker, Alex.
Whoa.
That's it, number 9.
9 minutes.
9 minutes.
Jeez,
Get your Godfather on while it lasts.
So we mentioned the YouTube channel, The Godfather Minute, over on YouTube. You can also follow us on Twitter at Godfather Minute. And
check out our new single, Not Even for Old Time's Sake, by my band, The Underdog Night Soldiers. You can find it on iTunes, Spotify.
CD Baby.
CD Baby.
CD Baby.
So until next time, it insults my intelligence.
And that makes me angry. And you wouldn't like me when I'm angry.